Alright, so here is my exo-terra tank. This is the one that I am going to be building into a Vivarium, Paludarium, however you want to say it. Terrarium / whatever. But this is the one I'm going to be working on. I'm going to try and document the steps as I go through it, each step at a time. Mind you, man, people have thousands of ways they do these. Everyone has a different style. This will be my first, and I kind of got an idea of how I want to go through it each step and how I want to proceed with designing it. By all means, if you see something I'm doing wrong, leave me a comment or let me know, or if something easier way to do it. I'm always up for options, but I'm just going to do it the way that I have kind of researched and planned out myself. So, all right, we will go through the steps, and I'll keep you along for each one. Thanks. Alright, so here we are in the garage / workshop that I'm going to be working on this thing with for a minute. First step, I filled it with some water just to see if there's any leaks. Pretty important to make sure that this thing doesn't leak before you get going and have so much time and money put into it and it starts leaking all over your floor. So I wanted to take care of that first. Granted, there's only about 2 gallons of water in here. It doesn't look very even, but no biggie. I'll probably put more water in it when I'm making sure this is not leaking as of yet. May even go through and re-silicone it. I don't know yet. I'm definitely going to be adding black silicone as for the next step to the backs and where I'm going to be putting the foam and whatnot. So, like I said, step 1, onward, step 2. So I got finished siliconing the tank. Siliconed the whole back and that side, like I said I was going to do. That took roughly 2 tubes of black silicone just to do those 2 sides. Got that side too. It's not perfectly straight, but it'll be alright. The way I'm going to have it laid out, it doesn't need to be. But it'll just cover up the side of the expanding foam, as you see. Got a piece of PVC pipe. Cut that in half. This is about 3 feet, so I need about 1.5 feet for each side. But this side will be extra for another tank one day. But the reason I did that is because the corner of the tank is where I want the waterfall. And I'm going to put my pump down here, and I'm going to run the power cord of my pump up the PVC pipe and out the top. Also, I'm going to have a siphon tube in there to where if I need to siphon out water, I can. I'm going to pretty much expand foam all that in there. I might even silicone it a little bit to keep it in place. So the more I think about this tank, the more I think I'm going to go with the Paludarium versus doing a land feature within the water. So basically what I want to do is I want to make all that bottom part water and all the top part land. I may run some land down into the water, but I'm not going to do a false bottom, I don't think, or a land island in the middle of it. I'm just I got some ideas, I got some ideas to do with this to make it look really cool. And I think I'll have all the land options on top and all the water options on bottom. That'll let me do a lot more with things. Maybe a lot more life, a lot more fauna, explore different things. This is my first one, so this is an experiment in the works. I probably, in retrospect, should have done it with a smaller tank because I'm doing it with such a big tank, but oh well, you live once. I got this tank, might as well use it. So, all right, I will basically start expanding foam in next. Using the expanding foam next, and I'm going to start putting in pieces of driftwood and whatnot. I need to pick up another piece or 2 of some either cork bark or some driftwood. I'm not satisfied with what I have yet, just a couple more pieces and I think I'm ready. So maybe I'll do that today. I may go by the pet store and pick up some. I have credit there, so I might as well use it. I don't have to spend any money. But basically, I'm going to put the pump in this area right here, in this bottom corner. And I think I'm going to do an egg crate around it with some fiber lining, just in case, in case I do frogs or something one day, there's tadpoles or even eggs from fish that breed. I don't know. I just want to protect the pump so nothing really gets sucked up into it that shouldn't be. Plus, it keeps it clean. So if I put it in an egg crate box lined with the fiber, whatever, it should keep it pretty much clean the way I want it. But we'll see. That'll probably be when I do the bottom. I'm not too concerned about it right now. As long as I get the PVC pipe in there, I can do all that later. So I will update you as I go, and I'll let you know my next step. All right. So here's a stick a staff, a walking stick that I found a couple years ago. I really like it. I was going to make it into a walking staff, but I think I may use this for the tank. I'm not sure what you all think about that. I mean, it would make a good staff. It's not, I mean, I guess it's not as staff worthy as it could be. I just thought it might be a nice addition to the tank, so I may or may not. In order to do so, I'm going to cut it off here and cut it off right about there, and put it in the tank if I decide to do so, but not sure yet. Okay, here it is, pre-foam. Let me see if you can kind of tell what I'm doing here. Water is going to be on here. As you can see, it's kind of lane feature. Pump access, pump tubing for the waterfall. You can see the flower pots I'm putting in here. This one is going to go somewhat like that. I got two under there, one that's going to go there, and one on that side. I'll flip the tank over when I do this side. But so far, that's where it's going to go. That's what it's looking like. I kind of really like it. So I'll foam it, and I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. That's basically the gist of it. It's kind of hard to do while holding a camera. God, doesn't a lot of it come out either. Good thing I got two cans of this stuff. Alright, well, it looks kind of like a mess right now, but hopefully you can see what I'm doing. That's the corner that the waterfall is going to come up. Got a couple of nice pieces of driftwood in there. That's my centerpiece. I like that one a lot. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut and sand all this down until it looks smooth. I'm going to cut it away from the edge here. I'm going to smooth out that. Got some flower pots over there. Flower pots you can't really see, but I'll smooth it out. I'll make the rocks look good. Right about here is where I'm going to sand out a piece for the waterfall, kind of for it to gather, and it'll trickle down the rocks, in theory, into the water. But like I said, don't judge me yet. Let me finish, and I will show you what it looks like after I sand and cut. All right, so I got the final back panel. As you can see, the expanding foam is really expanding. I'm going to have to get it off the glass and away from that so I can actually shut that door there. This part made me the most nervous of all. It's only because that back dried, and then I had to turn it over on the side to do this side, and I was afraid all that would come off there. But no, it's pretty secure. It looks like it's staying. Not sure if you can kind of tell what I'm doing here. I like this piece of wood right here, this cork board, this cork wood, bark, whatever. It's got a nice, it's got a lot of little holes in it everywhere. With this thing, I can stick all my air plants and bromeliads in. As you can see, there's a bunch of little holes you can just jam them down into. So that's kind of what I want to do with that. A lot of air plants and bromeliads. I don't feel like I have enough potting containers in this setup. When I get the carving and going, I may go back and add some, maybe even refoam over it before I start the actual cocoa fiber or cement background, which I'm going to do probably a little bit of both. I haven't quite decided yet. But here's where we're at. Finally done with the expanding foam. I used 3.5 cans on this, probably a little excessive to other people's standards. I'm not sure, I don't have a reference point, so I'm not sure if that's a lot or not. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry for a day or two. I'm gonna get in here, start sanding and cleaning, and I'll let you see what it looks like when it's cleaned up and everything is where I want it. All right, this glorious mess I have here is some of the final stages of my sanding and cutting and trimming before I add the substrate to the back. One interesting point, I hollowed that out right there so the rocks can have a lot of drippage, you know, with the water, and then that came out. So what that is basically because the expanding foam was not fully cured. I started cutting it, there was still moist, wet, uncured expanding foam in the back behind it, and it expanded out. I'm just gonna leave it. I did do a couple cool things though with this while carving and going. I made this little area. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut the pipe here, and this is gonna be where the water collects. It comes over the waterfall onto the rocks. I even made another little collection pool right there, as you can see. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, in this corner, I'm going to use a clay mixture, and I'm going to do it with clay so it kind of looks rock. With the rest of the sides, I'm going to do a coconut fiber and peat moss mix with the silicone. So that's my next step, and that's what it looks like now beforehand. So as I get into actually doing the background, I will update you and show you guys where I'm at.